Before the temples, before the pharaohs, and before the earth itself, there was only noon, a pitch-black, endless ocean of absolute chaos. There was no shape, no time, and no life. Then, something emerged from the water. This was Atum, the first creator god. He did not have parents. He willed his own existence into being. Atum's arrival introduced the first instance of order to the void. He acted as the universe's patient zero, a single point of definition inside an undefined space. This diagram shows the process of creation through mathematical division. To build a reality, Atum branched his own essence into two distinct divine beings. The Egyptian universe grew through this sequence of structural fracturing, perfect unity divided into smaller, distinct parts, until the cosmos became complex enough to support life. The second generation, Shu and Tefnut, functioned as vast, impersonal forces. They were the literal air and moisture of the young universe. These forces acted as a wedge, pushing back the chaotic waters of none to carve out a massive, dry bubble of breathable space. Inside that bubble, the third generation formed, Geb, the solid earth, and Nut, the sky. But they were born as lovers, locked in a tight, constant embrace. This created a physical crisis. If the floor of the earth and the ceiling of the sky remain touching, there is no room for anything to exist between them. As shown in this papyrus, Shu physically hoisted the sky from the earth to create our boundaries. This established an eternal cycle. The sun travels across Nut's starry body, is swallowed at twilight, and reborn at dawn. At this stage, the gods functioned purely as infrastructure. They were the floors, ceilings, and atmosphere required for the drama of life to begin. With the physical stage set, the scale of the story zooms down to the mortal level. The children of earth and sky brought human proportions and human flaws to the universe. Osiris and Isis were the first to rule. They established civilization, teaching humanity how to cultivate the land and maintain the laws of kingship. But the same generation produced Set, a god of violent storms, and Nephthys, a goddess associated with morning and the night. Political jealousy eventually drove Set to betrayal. He assassinated Osiris and scattered his remains across Egypt, effectively burying the order his brother had built. Isis refused to let this destruction stand. She used her magic to track down every piece of her husband, gathering the fragments to restore his form. While restored, Osiris could no longer stay in the land of the living. He transitioned into a new role, becoming the absolute ruler of the afterlife. In the wake of this tragedy, Isis and Nephthys became the eternal protectors of the dead. Their presence, seen here as two falcons, became a permanent fixture in Egyptian funerary art. The murder of Osiris permanently divided the universe. The initial perfection of the divine family was gone, replaced by a strict border between the living and the dead. This left the cosmos in a state of perpetual conflict, Osiris ruling the dead, Set ruling the wild deserts through absolute chaos, and the promise of a future war when Horus would challenge Set for the throne. This diagram tracks the shift from a single, organized point of origin to these tangled, intersecting lines of conflict. By following this sequence, the myth maps the exact distance between cosmic perfection and the reality of human grief. It suggests that while the physical universe is orderly by design, the human experience is a beautiful, chaotic battleground that requires an active defense against the forces of destruction. The Nine Gods of Heliopolis are a chronological record of this descent, showing how a silent, perfect void eventually became the complicated world we recognize today.